welcome to Women-Powered Stories, and I'm so excited for our episode today. Our speaker is a Filipina, but she's working outside of the country, and I'm very excited to share her story to all of you. So she's from Davao City, and she's actually a neighbor of mine who was born and raised in Carmen, Davao del Norte, Philippines. But now she lives in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and have been traveling in and out of Thailand for 7 years already. And she started working as a virtual assistant, and from there, she created a 6-figure business with 2 online e-commerce stores and all with organic sales. So for me, this is very inspiring, especially to those who has an idea on building their e-commerce or online stores. And for sure, you can learn something and a lot from our guest today. So everyone, please help me in welcoming another inspiring woman that I know, Miss March Brenwall.
Hi, everybody.
How are you?
Hi.
Thank you for spending time with us today to share your story to the rest of the Filipinas, especially for Davaoeñas and Mindanaoans. So I'm so happy and delighted for your time. So how are you coping up?
I'm really good. Yeah. As what you mentioned, I'm in Tbilisi, Georgia. We're stuck here, so it's not a bad place to be stuck with. How are we coping up? So I'm here with my husband, and yeah, we rented a very nice Airbnb. You know, have your husband cook for you every day. So I'm not a good cook. So I'm so lucky that I have a husband who can cook for me every day. And one of our room, we turn it into a gym. So we bought some stuff, and I'm a fitness freak. I'm a CrossFitter, so I need to work out every day and stuff. So yeah, watch a lot of TV. We have a big couch. And yeah, that's, I think. And here in Tbilisi, you can still go out and do your walk. So we do a lot of hiking every day. So like 1 hour or 2 hours hiking. And outside our house, actually there is a mountain that we can just hike every day. So that's not too bad. And yeah, just a lot of Netflix and a lot of a lot of tea and coffee.
I love that. I love what you're doing, and I love that you can travel with the things that you do. And I love your story actually. So I want you to tell our audience, how did you build up and how did you came up where you are right now, from being a virtual assistant to building a 6-digit business online, how you become a CrossFitter, and how have you been traveling around the world and empowered yourself to make something?
Yeah, so my story started back in 2013. That was like a long time ago, back in the Philippines. I met my husband um, in the Philippines through a friend, and we started dating back in 2013, and he moved to the Philippines for 6 months, and then after 5 months, he was just like, you know what, I need to travel. I need to get out the Philippines, but I want you to come with me. And I was just like, I'm not very sure about that, because I do have a business in the Philippines. I do sell okay. So I'm back in the Philippines before I met my husband. I'm always an entrepreneur. So I always learn something new. So, and I love ukay, and I love fashion. I love, so I will go to ukay and buy like 10 pesos short, and I will sell it for 150 on Facebook. So so and it was really doing well. And when he told me that he wants to travel with me, and I was just like, um I was scared, mainly because I don't want to travel and be dependent with him, especially financially. And I didn't grow up that way. My parents were just like, you should never ever be dependent with anybody else. So I was scared that if I'll start traveling with him, I will get stuck, especially financial. So he was just like, you know what, okay, let's try this for a month. While we're still in the Philippines, he hired me as his assistant. And I was doing all his Facebook stuff, and that time I was so hesitant because I really don't know anything about social media. All I know is just I will take picture, put it in social media. I didn't realize that you can make money out of social media, right? So he started teaching me how to do social media, and I was making $2 per hour that time. And for our first month, I made $180, and I was really, for me that time, it was huge and big already, because I was just in my couch, on social media, getting paid while doing this. So for me, it's a win-win. So we started traveling. We went to Chiang Mai, and that's it. All changed from there. As soon as I landed in Chiang Mai and started making new friends, and meeting a lot of women that who are doing their own thing, and own their businesses, that really inspired me to, like, I can do better than just someone's assistant. So yeah, it all started from there. And all these women, they just keep telling me that, you know what, you can do better than this, you can do better than this. So I, 1 year after I worked for him, I gathered my strength, my everything. And one day I just told him that, what, I'm gonna quit working for you. And yeah, that's all that started from there. That was the story of, being a VA and just quitting that job. And actually, when I quit my job as his assistant, I don't have a plan B. I no plan B at all. I don't know what else to do, but I just want to quit. And that was the start of my entrepreneurial story, actually.
I love that you decided to, to be really financially independent from someone else, especially from your husband. And for me, that's very empowering. And so yeah, I know that it wasn't easy to build that one. It wasn't easy to decide something like that. And I know that you also gone through some challenges along the way. So what are those challenges that you have to go through in building your online business, and deciding that I really have to do this, I really have to do something on my own? How did you overcome these challenges?
Yeah, I think my first challenge was, I don't have a plan B when I quit my job. I don't I don't know what else to do. I mean, that time I don't I that time selling online was not an option. I didn't think about it because I was just like, oh my god, what's going to be my plan B? So here I am, quit my job, and then I was just like, shit, what am I gonna do? So my husband was like, okay, let's go to Bali. Maybe you will have some ideas when we get to Bali. So we went to Bali, and um, and I was just always so nervous because the way we do things is, we always split expenses, right? So he will pay for something, I will pay for something and stuff. That's always been our relationship. And that time when I quit as his assistant, he's not even my husband yet, we're still dating. He's not even my fiance yet, you know so we went to Bali, and he was just like, okay, what you gonna do now? And I was freaking out. I don't have a job, I have a very little savings, and it's like, oh my god. So I decided that I want to do, that time, Amazon FBA. So I started talking to China supplier, but then I realized it takes forever. I want money right now. I want money now, because I mean, I don't have a job. So I was like, okay. So I started talking to supplier in China. I find out that it will take me 6 months to actually create that product from China, ship it to Amazon, and it was just taking a long time. And I will have to invest at least $5,000 for my first product to get to Amazon. So I told him that, okay, this is not the business that I want to do right now. I don't have enough money. At the same time, I don't have time. I want something right now that I can make money. And that time, back in 2014, 2014, drop shipping, I'm not sure if you're familiar with drop shipping. Drop shipping was very popular back then in Chiang Mai. So we we are friend of one of the guy that was really doing well with drop shipping, and we bought his course. And while I was in Bali, we were there for a month. I was just like, watching all these courses and about how to do drop shipping. And while I was doing that course, I was just like, okay, this is something that I want to do. Like, I don't have inventory, I don't have to see the product, I don't have, I just have to drop ship from someone's company and I will sell it to my platform. And yeah, that's where my first e-commerce launch. It was a fitness jewelry e-commerce, and I'm into CrossFit. I love, fitness, and I decided that okay, I will have like a kettlebell keychain or like a kettlebell earrings or like, those kind of things. And we went back to Chiang Mai, and I found a supplier in China, and I found a supplier in Chiang Mai as well to like do my product. So I started. I know that time I know already how to do social media. I have an idea of how to do social media already. So before launching my website, I actually started creating my social media. So I'm making noises on social media already, posting the product, even though it's not available yet, posting the product on social media. And boom, a lot of people is like asking, hey, where can I buy this? Where can I buy this? And I was just like, shh, I don't have my website yet. So on the day that I launched my website, um, that was August or something. I don't remember now. That was August, I guess. That I the day that I launched, like when I clicked that launch, you know, the next thing that I did is message all those people on social media that who asked me that where can they buy the product. And that's it. That was like the first, I guess, 30 minutes of launching that website. I made like $80, and it would just continue from there.
So how did you build your confidence? So you were Filipina traveling around the world. And for sure, during that time, there are already a lot of online stores and many people are already doing drop shipping. So how did you build your confidence from a beginner drop shipper to being a six-digit online e-commerce entrepreneur?
So I think my biggest advantage from everybody, I created a social media presence already before I launched my drop shipping. So I do have a Facebook page which has 100,000 people likes. I have Facebook group that's like a lot of people. So I have people already. And before I launched the website, so when I when I launched the website, it was just like so easy for me to like put it in all the social media. And you know people that who like my page and my group, they are um they they are into fitness. Like they are my people. They CrossFit, they know the language, they're fanatics. So it was so easy for me to sell them something, when they know as well that I myself is a CrossFitter. I myself is using the product, and I do a lot of like cute stuff and this kind of things. And I do partner up with other CrossFit women that will just post the product, wear the t-shirts and stuff like that. So I think that was my biggest advantage there. And when it comes to like how did I build my confidence, I feel like um I surrounded myself with in Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai is the hub for entrepreneurs. There's so many people in Chiang Mai that who's doing different kind of online businesses. There's a lot of like meetups in Chiang Mai doing this, doing that, doing this. And I think I was in my I was in the level already of knowing that actually there are people that who are not Filipinos, they're Americans or like British or Australian, the who are still struggling on in their businesses. So it's okay for me to like struggle, you know, because so and that really really knowing that, that really boosts my confidence of actually not everybody figure it out. So so being okay with that, that okay, I'm okay of not figuring out everything right now. I just have to go with the process and learn as I go. So I think that was really like the boosting of the confidence there, of like just go for it. If it's gonna fail, then at least I know I have to figure out my next step. But you know so yeah, that was my take on that one.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, just learn by doing. Like, you don't have to figure out everything at that moment, right? Just keep going and just learn it along the way. So I agree, and I think most of the things that we do in our lives, it's also like that. Yeah. And
Exactly.
yeah, so but my question is, how did you build the community on social media? How did you, I know that they're fanatics, they were maybe your followers, but how did you build up those followers and those and the groups that you build? Are this your friends or the people that you met in a networking event? So how did you build this community up?
So I started the Facebook group back in 2015. It was just mainly for my friends and CrossFitter friends to just share our progress with CrossFit, of like sharing our wins and stuff like that. And it was originally just for people in my community, for CrossFit community. And fast forward to 2018, that Facebook group, it was just like there's only like 50 people there that I know. Everybody that I know is just, it was just supposed to be friends. In 2018, I decided to change my, so I did not mention that when 2014, when I launched my first e-commerce, from 2014 to 2016, that was like the biggest like e-commerce for me. I actually launched 3 e-commerce after my first one. It was like I was just like, oh, I'm killing this, this kind of thing. And then all of a sudden, success just came so quickly that I wasn't prepared for it. There's so many things that I'm not it's not there. There's so many things that not familiar for me. There's so many knowledge that I was just like, I don't know what to do with this, so I was overwhelmed. And I started hiring people, started hiring to do my Facebook ads, and I was just paying them like $3,000 per month. And I was like, I was there's a lot of things happened that time, that to the point, actually in 2016 my business failed, all of them. So the success was just like, I was making 6 figures for these 3 businesses, and all of a sudden it went like, seriously, it went like, whoo. And I was, during that time, I was in a, I was in a like anxiety, depression mode, because I feel like as such a failure. I created this business, and all of a sudden I I had nothing. There's no, most of the time there's no sales and stuff. That was the hardest part for me. And my husband was just like, why don't you just quit e-commerce and start working for other people, and maybe you will learn working from them, and once you're ready, open up your e-commerce again. And that time it was so hard for me to accept that, because I was just like, I am my own boss already. So why should I let go of that, feeling, or let go of that title, and go and work for other people? And my husband was like, well, you have to, it's either your ego, or you have to accept that, this is not the right time for your e-commerce to continue, and you have to work for somebody else and maybe learn from them, and whatever that you learn from them, you have to apply that to your own business in the future. So it was really really hard for me. And I reached out to that group that I was telling you earlier, the women's group. I reached out to them through Facebook, and that was the first time ever in my life that I was really like I just laid it all out there, that my business is failing, and I'm so scared and stuff like that, and I need your help. I need a job. And I was after I posted that on Facebook. Oh my God, I was so surprised of how much people value me. Like, not just like their friends, but they know that I can offer something for their business, and they know that I can be a good part of their business. So I got a lot of offer like straight away. And and that time it was so scary for me, because I thought that, oh my God, if I'm gonna work for other people, they're gonna pay me like maybe 5 hours per hour or something, like like a typical VA salary. But when I started doing the interview and stuff, and some people hired me and were willing to pay me $2,000, $3,000 for a month, and I was just like, what the? So that's when my confidence really went like rocketed, because I just feel like these people see something in me, like a value that I did not see within myself. So during 2016 to 2018, I let go of my e-coms actually, and I started working for a company called Coworker. And this company, I'm telling you, I learned a lot from this company. And I think that was my 2 years of working from this company. And after during 2018, that's when I was like, you know what, I learned a lot. I have to apply this to my business. So 2018, that Facebook group that I have, I changed it to Barbell Beauties, and open up my e-com again. This time, better product, better service, and I have the people, and I started adding. I just started being active in that group, and to the point that people just start coming in, and they started adding their friends, and to the point that now, two like almost 2 years after, we're like 40,000 in that group. So so, and Barbell Beauties is just like, people knows who is Barbell Beauties, what is Barbell Beauties. And and yeah, and I quit my job as social media for Coworker in 2018, and went full time with my e-coms. And from there are just a lot of opportunities comes in.
The turnaround process was really great, and I think I learned something from there. So it's like a story of, you did it on your own, you're just DIYing, and then learning by doing, and then suddenly crashed, and now you have to be,
Exactly.
yeah, you have to be with the company so that you can learn more and apply those learnings on your own company. And now, so it's working well. So I think I have learned on that. I learned something in that process. And yeah, I think it's very empowering. I think it's my realization on that is, you don't have to do it alone. And also,
Exactly.
you mentioned that you have a community that boosts your confidence during the time that you lost it. I mean, and that's the thing. That's the importance of having a community, having a support group that you can go to, and that won't judge you. And most of all, they will just help you, and remind you that you can do things, that this process is important to go through. And yeah, I really
Yeah,
appreciate.
I own my confidence now. It really is my whole journey of entrepreneurial, to my husband, and to these women that who really like supported me, and like always like believe in me when even those times that I don't even believe in myself. There were so many times that I belittled myself. I was just like, I'm not good enough. I don't have that kind of knowledge. I don't I'm you know I can't do that. I'm always like negative. Um I always put pressure to myself, and always like, and these people that surrounds me, they were just like, you know what, you can do this. You're more than this, and you know that. So I was so lucky to be, especially to have a husband that always just like, since the beginning, he's just like supported me from whatever decision and just, crazy plans, or like that I have. And it's a good feeling to have that, I mean, I think that's one thing that is missing in in the Philippines, I guess, that, having that support that you're getting from other women sometimes. I mean, I've been I used to live in the Philippines, and I do have like Filipino friends, girlfriends, and stuff like that. And most of the time, if I have to compare it, most of like the time, it's always like there's always like, what do you call this one, like jealousy when it comes to like, Filipino girlfriends. It's always like, okay, and they're so scared of like telling you what to do and telling you that you're doing it wrong, instead of like, be upfront with me. And I think that's a different of the women, the foreigner friends that I have at the moment, that they're always push you, and they're not scared of like telling you that, hey, I don't like what you did today, those kind of things. I would rather this and that, instead of like, sugarcoat everything. And I think that's, for me, that's the difference. And and if you I think if you surround yourself with women that who always like have your back, lift you up, I think you will really succeed in life. I think for me, at least that's what's happening in my life. I surrounded myself with women that who just like, good job, even like a small good job, it's easy for them to say that because they mean it. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong there, but there are so many there there's so many Filipinos in the Philippines that, even saying good job is so hard for them, because there's always that jealousy of like, oh my god, I wish I'm on her shoes, and stuff like that. I mean, I've encountered that so many times with Filipina girlfriends. There's always like chismes, jealousy, and I'm just like, okay. So yeah, I think it's surrounding yourself with people that who are like-minded people, that will really like step you up from everybody.
It's really important to have a global community, and not just, because that's it, because we have diversity of people and we get to see different perspective from
Exactly.
different women of different cultures and different location. So that's very important. I think I got an insight also from that, to build a more diverse group of women than just in a location based, because
Yeah.
again, as you've mentioned, it's very different, especially the support that you can get out of, people who has no bad intention, who has no envy, who is not envious of what you have, and will just fully support you and have your back. I think that's very important nowadays, and I that's not impossible anymore with the digital community that we have right now. So yeah, I think that's very important to have a group of things like that. And I really like that you build that kind of community and you have that kind of community. So maybe we can do that together. To have something like that. Yeah.
I can definitely help you.
Thanks, March. And so you mentioned that you have a very supportive husband. I was supposed to ask you, how did he take your decision to become a financially independent entrepreneur? And I think he is very supportive, as you mentioned. So maybe my next question to you is, um, how do you continuously develop yourself, like your personality, in terms of personality? How did you make yourself be emotionally mature to, for you to be able to address whatever issues in your business or your relationship? What are your personal development activities, maybe on a daily basis? What are you improving right now in your life?
All good question. So I think I'll answer the one that you asked, of how did my husband take my decision of like, you know moving from a VA to entrepreneur. He when we first met, he knows already that I'm from a family that who's in a entrepreneurial mindset. I grew up having my dad as my hero, to always just like push me to be. He always said that you're never gonna succeed in life if you work for someone else. That's my dad is always keep telling that, like, if you work for somebody else, you're not gonna get rich. So I have that mindset growing up, like, I'm not gonna work for somebody else. And um during that time when I asked him that I'm gonna quit my job, he was expecting it already. I was even surprised. And when I told him that, hey, I'm gonna quit my job, and he was just like, I was expecting it already. Because he said that during that time, he noticed that I was really learning a lot of things. I asked a lot of questions, and my entrepreneurial side was just like kicking in. And and he was just like, I know one day that you're gonna ask me. I know one day this will happen. And I was waiting for that day. And he was very, very happy because he knows that I am really independent woman. And ever since he met me, and it's something for me, it's very important for me to make something on my own instead of like just relying from him. So I think, yeah, that's how he take that decision of me leaving. And when it comes to like constantly learning, I've been doing this for 7 years now. And within that 7 years, we've been traveling a lot. So you have to find ways on how you can really like, what do you call this one, how can you manage everything. So when I do I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of researching and like what's going on, what's new. And when I find out that there's something new, I always like tend to learn them as I go. So I always, and also like I always love to partner up with people that who has an ability, that's something that I feel like I'm out of my comfort zone. So like people that, like, let's say for example, with with the new program that we just launched recently. So I partnered up with a nutritionist. I'm not a nutritionist, but I partnered up with a nutritionist that who knows how, you know to deal with everything with nutrition. So with that alone, I'm expanding my knowledge of, like, understanding this more. At the same time, like bringing someone that who is an expert to something instead of just me learning. I One thing that I will say that I really learn and value is, it is okay to accept that you can do everything. It is okay to accept that you don't know anything. And you will learn. And it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask for partnership and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I can do this because I'm so good at this and stuff. So um yeah, I think that's how I've been coping up. And then when it comes to like mental state, I do. I love to paint. I'm not a good painter, but I'm very artistic when it comes to, like, when it comes to fashion, makeup, whatever, and painting and stuff like that, or anything that I love to learn new things. Even though I'm not good in something, I love to learn new things. So when I'm bored, I went on YouTube and I found out that it's so easy to paint. I went to the shop, bought all the bought all the equipment, materials and stuff, and I started painting. So, I mean, I'm not scared to learn something. I think that's one thing that I keep telling my daughter, don't be scared to learn something. Because all these people, all these scientists, all these doctors, all this, these people that who we look up, they learn from the beginning. They learn from being something, and not being scared of learning them and doing them. And don't be scared to make mistake as well. So yeah, I think that's what so far making me sane.
Lovely, yeah. So that's a lot of insights and information. And from there, my last question is, I know you have given a lot of advices already and insights. Those are so inspiring, and your story is really inspiring. And and for this one, I know that a lot of women are waiting for this. What are your advices to women who wants to be financially independent from their from their family or husband, or just if they are if they are independent, how can they explore their idea more, and yeah, to get out from that fear of doing something on their own.
Yeah, I think that's a good question, but I'm gonna rephrase that question. Um, I think when I finally decided that I want to be my own entrepreneur, I I have to be very clear that that time we're not married yet. So it wasn't something that, I want to be financially independent from my husband. It was something that I want to be financially independent and be my own boss, and I think it's something to do with, don't be scared to try something. And I think one thing that I keep telling my VAs, never scared to ask question. Just ask that question and ask for help. Don't I mean I think, yeah, ask the question. Don't be scared to ask question. You know? It's okay to ask question and ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. When I when I launched my affiliate website, I don't know anything about SEO. I'm so naive and noob about SEO, but I know people that who are, into SEO, like geniuses of SEO. And you know what? I opened my laptop, write this email, and that time my heart was just like beating so fast, because I was just like, oh my god, what if they think of me, asking them for help and asking. And you know what, I was just like, if they will not respond, at least I tried. If they will respond, I'm so happy to get a phone call with them and find out what's, about all this SEO. And I was so surprised, all the people that I reached out actually got back to me. And now they're just so willing to help me to improve my affiliate website. And and that's one thing that I learned. I was just like, oh my god, I was so scared to send that email, because I feel like these people are above me, and I feel like I'm here, and these people are like, and I was just like, they don't have time for me. But I was wrong. They actually appreciated that I asked for help. They, these people, they know that asking help, it's okay. They've been in that position, they've been there before, and for sure during that journey of their entrepreneurial life, they have someone that who helped them, and now it's their turn to help me. So that's why I keep telling people, don't be afraid of your ideas. Ask question and ask for help. I think that's the I think that's the I think, not even in entrepreneurial life, but even in life in general. You know, if something doesn't feel good, ask why this and that. And if you feel like, oh my god, I'm so lost right now, I don't know how to do this, ask for help. Maybe someone can help you on how to, do this. And yeah, and I think, and also, yeah, so I said earlier, um don't be afraid of your ideas. I keep telling my VAs, small or big ideas, they're ideas. So every ideas, no matter how small, how big they are, put them on Google Docs, and we'll figure out how we can make them happen, and how so yeah. I think have an ideas, don't be afraid to have an ideas. And also one thing, don't be afraid to speak up. I think that's one thing that I learned for, I'm always been an upfront person. Even before I start traveling and stuff like that, I'm always like, my mom always kept telling me that you are not a true Filipino, because when I don't like something, I will tell you straight away, instead of like backstabbing you. And my mom doesn't like that. She felt like I'm too aggressive. And what I'm trying to say is, like, don't be afraid to speak up. If you feel like something is not right, speak up. So yeah, I think that's the only advice that I can give.
Great, totally agree. And so it brings me to my last question. So what are your major 3 life lessons so far that you want to share to our audience?
Ooh, three life lessons. Oh, I actually did not see that. So I wasn't prepared for that. I think three life lesson is um okay, three life lesson. I think the first one is, oh, that's it. I think I already said everything. I think the first one for me is I really learn how to speak up. I think that's really important for me, and I'm not afraid of reaching out. I'm not afraid of talking. I'm not afraid of like letting my feelings out. I think that's something that really like a life lesson for me. Instead of like uh keeping everything to myself, I learn to just like go, you know so I think that's one thing for me. I am that kind of person. I love to speak up whatever I have in my mind. And the second one is like, as what I said, I think the three things that I said earlier, I think that was my lesson. Like, I think that was like ideas. I mean, all my business right now started just an idea, and that time it felt so like stupid and not reality kind of idea, but I have an idea and I went for it. And you know and and surround yourself with people that who have your back, no matter what, no matter how crazy you are, no matter how stupid your ideas. You have these people that will surround your back. And yeah, and the last thing, I guess, yeah, be always thankful with people that who helped you. So yeah, I think that's it.
Wonderful. Yeah. So thank you. And March, thank you so much. You really have an inspiring story to tell. And I'm so happy for your time. And again, everyone, thank you. I know that you learned a lot of things from March. So March, please tell us how are these women can find you? How can they get in touch with you? And so maybe they can learn more about your business.
Yeah, so I made my Facebook public. It's March Brenwall. So you can send me a message there. Don't add me, please. if if you don't know me or we haven't met before, don't add me. Let's start a conversation first. So send me a message there. And as much as I can, I always try to help women, regardless if they're Filipinos and or not. As much as I can, if I can, I will help women. And yeah, March Brenwell, my Facebook, and you can follow me on my Instagram as well, Miss Sassy and Fit. You can like my Facebook page called Barbell Beauties and Wad Women, and you can join my group. Only join my group if you are into fitness, if you do CrossFit or any exercise or anything. That group is for that. But if you want help for business or like advice or something, then send me a message. Don't join my group.
Awesome. That's so cool. All right, March, thank you so much again. And be safe there in Tbilisi. And everyone, thank you for your time. I hope you learned a lot. And for the next Women Powered Stories, please stand by, like our Facebook page, Women Powered Stories, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Women Powered Stories. Until our next episode, have a great week, everyone. Bye.